For me, it was hell. It was so terrible.
It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare.
They beat me a lot. Not one or two, a lot of things at the same time.
At 9 o'clock exactly, you heard the order of the first volley. Rah!
New Year's Day, 1959. The Cuban Revolution triumphs. Batista is out. Castro is in. With him came hopes and promises of a free Cuba, free from dictatorship and brutality. A Cuba where the working man would rule and human rights would flourish. But the celebrating was not yet over, and already the new Cuba began to resemble the old. Cubans hungry for justice packed the mass trials of Batista's brutal guard. Thousands were ordered executed. Jesus Sosa Blanco, a former army commander, likened it to a Roman circus. He was shot the next day. It has been 28 years, but claims of executions and brutality continue. There are no exact figures, no human rights group goes inside Cuba, but today there may be as many as 15,000 prisoners of conscience in Castro's jails, spoils of a revolution that would turn friends into enemies.
He was killing the people that even helped put him in.
Among those executed, revolutionary commanders William Morgan, Porfirio Ramirez, Plinio Prieto, and Senecio Walsh. Commander Uber Matos was sentenced to 20 years. Commander Eloy Gutierrez Menoyo was sentenced to 30. Even Americans living in Cuba became the target of Castro's revolutionary zeal. Businessman Howard Anderson was among the first.
I was 5 years old, and I was saying my prayers with my mother by my side. She took my hand and said, "Bonnie, Daddy has gone to heaven." And I remember it was such a shock. I couldn't believe it. I was his little girl.
Anderson was accused of working for the CIA, a claim he sternly denied. His trial was set for April 17, 1961. It was the morning of Bay of Pigs.
The atmosphere inside the trial was completely out of hand when you have a prosecutor standing on a table and waving his fist and madly yelling death to the Americans.
Howard Anderson was shot at sunrise the next day.
It's the systematic violation of human rights. It happened before, it's happening now, and it will always happen while they're there.
Between 1980 and 1985, we did receive allegations of both death sentences being applied and executions being carried out, although they've been very difficult to confirm.
Difficult because no human rights group has ever been allowed in Cuba. What little is known comes from those who have endured Castro's prisons.
It was terror, 24 hours a day, being afraid, being hungry, seeing people beaten.
I never thought that people, human beings, could hate the way they hated us, could do the things they did to us.
Tomorrow, a rare look inside Castro's prisons and the graphic stories of those who got out. Part 2 of Breaking the Silence. With an Eyewitness Extra, I'm Ileana Vorella.